Howdy.
Coach Bleymaier.
You guys asked Embo all the hard ones, I assume.
Joe, I know you guys have really been emphasizing the downfield passing game. Just wondering what you've seen out here over these last few weeks.
Yeah, I've seen the whole offense, all the guys, some of the returning guys, trying to establish an identity. I think each year you have to reestablish that identity, kind of form who you're going to be as an offense. You can't take for granted what you've done in the past and just simply think you're going to transform or start back up where you left off. And so emphasizing, hey, everything starts in the vertical game, putting pressure on the defense, down the field, across the field, all of those fundamentals of how to open up the field. That's what I've seen. So that's what I've seen, that emphasis, and just starting over. Here's where we go, and form that identity until they stop it. Even going against our defense, which Coach Spags is a great segue into the season because they'll have adjustments throughout camp. But until they stop this, we'll keep doing it. Once they stop it, now where's our next complement?
How can you utilize Xavier in year two and maybe you weren't able to right away in year one?
Yeah, he has a familiarity with the offense and the scheme to where he can do more things. You can put more in terms of where he aligns and the routes and the concepts on his plate. He too, utilizing him more, he too is in that identity phase and that formation of himself as a player. And so one of the things that he does, I think that's a credit to him, is he's really emphasizing and focusing on the things that he does well, continuing to do those well, rather than to just take it for granted, focus on the next thing in his game that he would like to build on. He singles out Trent in one-on-ones, and oftentimes he's going to run the same routes over and over against Trent. So really sharpening his fastball, his main pitch, and then from there being able to say, all right, here's how I can complement that, and here's the other moves and the routes that can work off that. So he's like a microcosm of the offense in general. In year two, he's trying to establish that identity of here's what I can do against anybody in the league, and then if they start taking it away, here's how I can complement that.
Joe, you mentioned the identity, and from like 2018 to 2021, you had that Legion of Zoom identity, and everybody's been talking about speed this year being the hallmark. But what are the similarities? Are there similarities between what you're trying to do now versus what was happening back then?
Yeah, I think there's similarities in when you have multiple guys on the field, like in those early years when you had Trav and Tyreek and Sammy, and you had multiple guys on the field who could do multiple things against the defense, then they never knew really which way a certain concept was coming. It could be Sammy one week, Tyreek the next, Trav in the week 3. So each month it was just a constant guessing game and cycling through how we were getting to certain things and then complementing them. This year, I think we have a similar set of wide receivers who have been in the system, and although they all have different traits and are better at different things specifically, they all have a skill set that can allow them to line up anywhere on the field and work a specific concept. And so that just allows us to hopefully keep the defense off balance with not necessarily having it always be Xavier running deep and then Trav underneath. It's just like we were talking about with Xavier's game. He's underneath and somebody else is over the top, and just constantly changing them.
Joe, what have you seen from Travis this camp? This guy who decided to come back, been through this a whole bunch of times. How's he evolved over the years?
I mean, today was a great example. We one of the hotter last days of training camp in full pads. We started off slow on offense. Trav gets a route one-on-one, and we hadn't seen many completions out there today, and Trav beats his man one-on-one, breaks out for a 20-yard gain, and kind of sets the tone for everybody that, hey, you get man-to-man coverage, we're winning these routes, let's go. So that, just the veteran that he is, the amount of years out here, and then when everybody was pushing through the dog days of camp, it was him who made the play one-on-one against the defense. That kind of just goes to that bigger picture where maybe you don't recognize the years as much because it's just the same old Trav. That's what he's always been doing. But for him to be able to dig deep and do that, that was just like a fountain of youth moment today in full pads out here.
We'll go a couple more.
What's jumped out to you most about Patrick this week?
His ability to communicate with the veteran guys who have been here, and then also the younger guys, Jalen, who's learning our offense, some of the newer tight ends, exactly what he wants through their eyes. So he can speak to Rasheed and Xavier, Hollywood, Trav, a certain way. They have a communication that sometimes is unspoken. But then with Jalen and some of our newer tight ends and newer pass catchers, he's been able to communicate exactly what he wants through their eyes, which is you can see him almost taking a breath and seeing, hey, I know exactly what you were thinking, or here's what I think you thought, and here's how I saw it, and it's just clicking. I think that's a maturity and an experience thing from Patrick to be able to recognize the game through their eyes and see it through their experience, and then meet them where they are. It's been incredible to watch.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.